Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Matt Dog's podcast. And I'd like to welcome you to the final episode for, I guess you could say, season one. And today's topics is pretty much to wrap up the year and thank everyone who's tuned in and pretty much thank all my guests, who joined me this year as I really try to switch things up and I really try to get intriguing conversations started. And today's podcast, I'm going to focus on pretty much the importance of manifestation, why I truly believe in vision boards, goal setting, and pretty much my mindset in my future rebrand for this coming year. So I hope y'all could stay tuned, but I'd like to give a few words and thank everyone again for tuning in because once again, I think for me, I've been creating content for years, and this time I was really trying to switch things up in the sense of trying to kind of take a different approach in content creation because like I've mentioned before, I feel like I've kind of had a lot of burnout when it comes to creating and also when it comes to like overworking myself. And I feel when I used to do vlogmas back then, which is like recording every single day of your life, I feel like I was oversharing, and I also feel as though it was really causing myself to kind of hate what I truly love, and that's making videos, being creative. And I really love the conversations and kind of the switch I did when it comes to creating content this Christmas because I was documenting interesting conversations, and also there was a lot of people that reached out. Well, maybe not like a lot, because obviously the views don't show that, but there was just people I truly did not think were listening, and they were. And those people that not really, but those people that did reach out and did kind of share their words of not inspiration, but I guess gratitude, because a lot of people didn't realize. I mean, I didn't realize that a lot of people actually took some important information when it comes to the podcast. Even if it was like something they were playing in the background, just something to pass some time, maybe they're going through something hard. I didn't realize the impact that I was having in just having a normal conversation, which once again, maybe it was my journalistic background that makes me have fun with these sort of things. But I really think it kind of sparked a new interest for me. Because of course, I think right now we're in an era where everyone's starting a podcast, and I really didn't know how to navigate the situation of like, okay, maybe you should start listening to my podcast. So again, I really just wanted to take a moment there to appreciate everyone who really took an interest and gave me their time of day to, listen to my words and listen to the conversations I had. But let's get started and pretty much talking about vision boards. So I'm alone today because, again, I'm ending off the year by myself in the sense of no guests. I did want to thank everyone again for just listening to the Christmas podcast. It's really been fun. But I think what really happened this year was my goal setting and pretty much changing my mindset in setting boundaries where they were needed and also prioritizing myself. So I think itself, I've kind of made it known, if y'all do follow my socials, that I am a fan of Trisha Paytas. And she's just an example. It doesn't just have to primarily be her, because of course I do love what she does and I love how much she's grown, but she's a prime example of what growth can be for a person if they really get their mind set to it, It's one of those things when it comes to manifesting, where whether you believe it or not, and when it comes to like religion, spirituality, no matter what religion, no matter what sort of thing you believe in, as long as you have faith in something, a higher power, where you truly believe you could get to an end goal, that's where it comes to mind setting, and that's where it comes to setting those goals and you visualizing yourself being able to obtain those goals. Because I think for ourselves, like I'm assuming everyone that's listening is from the Valley, because once again, I'm from South Texas. If you aren't from South Texas, it's really hard to kind of get out of the mindset of being first generation, coming from a family that literally just crossed from Mexico sort of deal, where it's like, not that they have like a small mentality, it's just they've never kind of gotten out of just working, getting a home, starting a family, and that was it. I feel with this new generation, when it comes to like millennials, Gen Z, we've really switched things up of wanting to prioritize what truly makes us happy. And I bring that up in the sense that these things are achievable of switching up what was once just starting a family, a home, like, your basic boring life, I guess. I mean, many people find that fun. Like, of course, that is everyone's end goal, to have a home they own and also a family. But I think just taking interest in what you really like. Because, of course, everyone needs to pretty much, I guess, work hard to get money. Because at the end of the day, that is how we live, unfortunately. We have to have money. So everyone chases the bag, as they say. They chase the money. But is it truly what they like? You know what I mean? In the sense, I know some people, for example, I'm not calling out any specific people, but like when it comes to like doctorate degrees, when it comes to going to law school and stuff, I really have heard some stories when it comes to like podcasts that that's not a lot of people's dreams. It's just one of those things that are kind of going for the money. And that's where we come in and as like a generation of like switching things up, of setting the boundary, of changing what was once not normal, I guess you could say. Because when it comes to like content creating itself, I feel it had a lot of backlash in the sense that people didn't take it seriously. It was up until maybe, I guess, the pandemic when really everyone started focusing and realizing like, oh, wow, like you really could make money on social media. But that's just one example. That's just one example of people switching it up in the sense of starting to prioritize and do what they find interesting, what makes them happy. And that also comes when it to goal setting. And that's literally why I find vision boards important. For example, when it comes to vision boards, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Literally mine is just like a random, like, I guess I did like a little painting session with my cousins. I've written it in just papers itself. It doesn't have to be anything fancy at all. It's literally you writing down your goals and you making sure you find a way of how to set them. For me this year, I really learned a lot. Let me just say that. I really tested myself. I guess I could diagnose myself as a job hopper, but I think myself, when it comes to my vision board, I wrote down, last year, I wrote down like 12 things, and I pretty much completed a good 7 of those things because the rest were kind of like life goals. But if it weren't for the experiences this year, I don't think I would have achieved everything on my vision board, or I guess you could say my manifestation board. But my point is, sometimes you really do have to take those risks so you could get out of your comfort level and start pretty much like, I guess, like grabbing the handle and taking control of your own life. Because at the end of the day, y'all, no matter what pressures you're getting from work, family, I guess you could even say poverty, because I'm not going to lie to you. I don't come from a rich family. I come from a hardworking family. Even for myself, pretty much everything I have, of course, anything before I was 14 was my parents. But everything I have from like 14 and up is what I worked for, what I paid for. So I know what it means as far as like starting from the bottom up. And that's what I mean. Everyone starts somewhere, but you have to work in taking control of your own life. Because let me just give an example. I, before the pandemic even started, was graduating high school. I had graduated with my associates in math. I was ready to be an engineer, but I really didn't want to do that. I felt like I was kind of getting pressured, not from only from my family, but also chasing a career that would bring me money. And I knew that wasn't going to bring me happiness. It was up until the pandemic, I feel like everyone kind of had a wake-up call of doing things that make you happy. Mental health started getting prioritized. And also, I think that's where I started marking the importance of vision boards and writing down your goals. But my point in bringing that up is I started chasing what made me happy in a sense. I guess like right now, I'll be vulnerable just so everyone can see how straightforward I'm being in this podcast, since it is my last one for this year. I really haven't found true happiness, but I found a way to fake it enough to where I believe I'm happy and trying to enjoy life as much as I can. So I guess this kind of goes to everyone too. And also it depends on your settings, because of course you're not going to want to be nice to someone that's like really mean to you. But I think it's one of those things of appreciating where you're at in life and kind of taking in and like, I guess just enjoying the moment. And I've had those conversations with my guests and how do they kind of prioritize making themselves happy when it comes also to like content creation or whatever they're doing. Just making sure you're truly happy and making sure you're chasing things that you want to do. And I think that's a big deal when it comes to manifestations and vision boards. Because in this year, I kind of switched things up when it comes to my vision board. I wrote like a topic and I wrote down underneath that topic like little subsections of how I would get there or things I kind of need to cross first to ultimately achieve that first topic goal. Like, let's say, for example, I want a car. Okay, what do I got to do to get a car? I got to get my credit score up. What do I got to do to get my credit score up? I got to pay off my credit cards or maybe start off with credit cards. Maybe I got to get, I don't know, some sort of loan to start building my credit so I could take out a loan to get a car. You know what I mean? That's what I would honestly recommend when you're making your vision board this year. I really do feel 2025 in general for a lot of people, I don't know what it is. I feel myself, I'm very tapped into the spiritual world and I'm very tapped into my spirituality. And when it comes to manifestations and all, but I truly do believe in the power of your mind and also the way you kind of like portray yourself to the outside world. And that kind of ties into my marketing degree. I really do believe personal brand is such a big deal. And I do see a lot of people in the Valley, they've kind of made it big. And that made a big deal of changing up not only their surroundings, but also how they portray themselves, how they talk about themselves. Because when it comes to, again, whatever you believe in, let's say you're Christian, of course, you'll have to love everyone. Let's say you're, I guess, believe in Mother Nature. You have to talk highly about yourself because, of course, if you're talking poorly of yourself, that's kind of how everyone's going to portray you and kind of understand you. Like, oh, he's degrading himself. But we shouldn't do that. I think at this point, we're kind of where we're all mature enough to understand everyone's kind of in their own path in life. And I feel like I've been understanding that a lot more about every single person because it's not easy to get along with everyone. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had years, I'm telling you, I've been making videos since I was little. So I've gone through it in the sense of not everyone agreeing with what I do. Because when it comes to family, friends, like this is such a, like social media is a platform where you're open to, I guess, open discussion. And I have gotten, I guess you could say, hate comments. I've gotten a lot of real life remarks where it's just like, that's kind of stupid what you're doing. But I myself, and I was actually having this conversation with some coworkers the other day of how I know a lot of people don't like me, but they're kind of asking me like, why are you still here in this place? I won't get into depth because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But my point is, I'm still in an environment where I know a lot of people don't like me, and I still continue being me. And that's when it comes to you, not like taking it personal. Like, of course, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'm not perfect. I still take things personal. I still take it hard when it comes to like hate comments, when it comes to people actually like, I guess you could say talking badly about me. And that's my main goal for switching in 2025. Like, not that I'm prioritizing everyone to like me, but I guess for me, my main goal is rebranding myself, my social media, this podcast, into taking a professional approach. I want people to, I guess, respect me. That is actually one of my goals of making sure I can achieve the goal of when I enter a room, am happy with myself, and I too can portray myself to others, not only to be respected, but, like maybe a glance or like, oh, like that kid knows what he's doing, but not kid, like, like person. Like that's when it comes, that's why personal brand is such a big deal. Like, how are you branding yourself so others can like you? But you also kind of have to find the balance that everyone, no matter what room you're in, not everyone's going to like you too. I know that's kind of like sad. That's kind of like contradicting, but I mean it in the sense of you do what you think is best and what you think makes you the most happy, and just continue doing what you really want. And I don't even know how I can like urge the importance of just being happy within yourself, and you'll start seeing the results from there. Like even when you start going to therapy and stuff, therapy is not to fix you. It's more so the therapist is pretty much trying to make you understand where you're at and make sure that you understand, like, how can you fix your own problems? Because again, a therapist is kind of trying to make you self-aware. And I really take that advice in the sense You know what you're doing wrong. You know you can't make everyone happy, but you do what makes you yourself happy. And that's what everyone has to do. Prioritize yourself. And that's why I truly believe vision boards, manifestations, goal settings is so important, especially when it comes to New Year's like this. Literally, the New Year is about to happen. And I find it so important for everyone to go ahead and I guess set like a a list of how you're gonna achieve these goals. Because again, you're not gonna put like I want to buy a house. Well, of course you can. Like that. Ultimately, that that would be a life goal for many people. But put away how you're gonna make that happen, and use it in past tense. Like word it in the sense that I'm happy I bought this house. I'm happy to be financially stable. I'm happy to be famous, or I'm very grateful to have had gotten this degree. Whatever it is, put it in past tense so you yourself have it in your mind like, oh, I already got it. Of course, you still got to put the work in, but you now have the mentality of I can do it. And that's where I really think you should, one, do your goal setting and start surrounding yourself by people that are going to motivate you. I really do truly believe the people you surround yourself with is kind of how your vibe is going to be. You need to start setting yourself apart, or setting your boundaries. I think boundaries is such a big deal in the sense of workplace, friends, family. If you need to cut people off, I would honestly recommend it if you truly believe these people are not getting you anywhere. And I don't mean like your childhood best friend. Of course, unfortunately, maybe y'all may not align as you used to before. But if they truly are kind of dragging you down and you feel that, like let's say you're having a conversation with a person and at the end of the conversation you just feel very drained, very tired, it is like a sign to kind of let them go. Because why are you drained? Why are you sad? Or why do you feel so down after you just after you just finished having a dinner with this person? There's no reason for you to feel that negative energy if you start surrounding yourself by, I guess, high power, not high power, but like top level people thinking, in the sense of people having goals for themselves, in the sense of like, let's say you want to be a doctor. You start surrounding yourself by people who want to become a doctor as well, or people that are in the field already. So you could start getting used to talking to people, not only in the field, but also, I guess, like networking is kind of where this ties along. Of yes, of course, have your friends. You still have to have your, I mean, I guess I wouldn't even prioritize that in the sense like I feel like myself. I've always been like a floater friend. I don't think I've ever had like a friend I could just like reach out to in a sense, but that's what I mean. I think in this 2025, like there's a lot of things I personally have to change. I should probably go back to therapy as well. But that's another thing. Like if you want to be happy, maybe go back to the therapist. But I mean it more so when it comes to networking and surrounding yourself by better people is for sure important, and also prioritizing your happiness and making sure, like, let's say you are in this field of being a doctor and you are surrounding yourself by these people. Let's say you do also feel drained by the time you're done, like networking. I think it would be like a different kind of energy, in the sense of like you're drained because you just took in so much new information. And that's kind of why I think it's important for you to surround yourself and start networking in fields like that. Like I myself should start probably taking this advice too. But I say these things because these are things I learned along the way of not only cutting people out of my life, but also setting boundaries when it comes to making sure I could achieve my goals one way or another. And I am telling you all of this, and I feel like I'm credible enough in the sense I've had years of working in many different places. If you go to my LinkedIn, I literally have worked maybe in 12 different places in the span of 6 years of me working. I think even more, maybe like 7, 8 years. But my point is, like, I've experienced enough where I feel I could talk about these things of what you should prioritize, because I'm literally a prime example that I've prioritized wrong things. I've surrounded myself by the wrong people, and I've also wasn't setting the goals because I was kind of like a lost soul. And let's say you are a lost soul. Well, not a lost soul, but let's say you do feel lost. You don't know what your ultimate goal is in this life. Start exploring. If it has to be traveling, if it has to be taking like a little hike, just kind of walking around. Like I randomly do that when it comes to like just driving around. You don't even have to spend money when it comes to these ventures. You could literally just go walking in the grocery store, walking in the mall, walking in random stores, meeting new people, just going out. Let's say you're still going to school, go to your university's or college's library. Start just getting out of your comfort level if you are trying to find yourself. Because for many people, and I feel like I'm still kind of in that path of self discovery, you have to get out of your comfort zone to ultimately find not maybe what your end goal would be, but find a goal for yourself. Because I think that's our purpose in life of making sure we're trying to do something and achieve something at the end of the day, And I think that's very important in everyone's life of making sure, I guess you're happy. Because it was one of those things, like not everyone's born happy. Like let's say you have a happy baby. Of course you're gonna like happy baby in the sense of like they're laughing all the time. Like who knows, they would be laughing in the future. But my point is you're not born happy. You kind of build that. So let's say you were, I guess, in a sense, in a broken home. So you kind of feel like your broken home is what affected you into this, I guess, low level thinking, or also just kind of surrounding yourself in negative spaces. Or let's say you're in the most vulnerable state. Let's say you just went through something traumatic. Let's say you're kind of going through the lowest point of your life. Let me just tell you, I've been there and I've also found a way to get out of it. So what I'm saying here is no matter where you're at, no matter how low you are in life, in the sense of like you just feel like, damn, like I'm done. I just lost my job or I just lost my friends. I honestly truly believe the universe is making and working behind the scenes of, let's say, making sure you lost your job, making sure you lost those friends, because there's literally a new path opening up for yourself. And I truly do believe that. That one path closes, another one is really going to open. And I truly believe that because I feel that happened for me a good 4 times. I guess I'm counting from like the pandemic till now. That happened to me so many times where it's just like, I just lost this friend, or like I just lost this job. Like I never got fired, but I quit because I mentally couldn't anymore. But that's where it came to like setting those boundaries of like, if this job is, or for example, like jobs too, like if this job is not really bringing you the happiness you once had, I honestly suggest you should get out and start exploring your other options. Because let me just tell you, we're in a point of time where there is opportunity literally everywhere. You just have to find a way to set yourself apart from others. So I guess these could be topics I could talk about later, but I really do believe that you have the power as an individual to switch your life around, and you have the power of mentally getting there, like mentally set those goals. And once you change your mindset, like honestly, your surroundings are just going to change with you. And I feel like that is hard for a lot of people, especially coming from like from a first generation family. Like you're the first generation person of starting this new life in America. And also just kind of coming from like, I'm not saying specifically a Mexican family, but like Mexican-like families, because I know Asian families also kind of faces backlash in the sense of it's hard to get out of the norm of like your ultimate goal being having a lot of money, like being financially stable and also having a family. It's hard to get out of that norm with your family, because I know it's different to start chasing your goals. Like a lot of artists, a lot of people that want to go into the careers that are not normal. It's hard to achieve those goals, but if you start changing your mindset and you start proving people wrong that you could achieve it, you do what you want again. This is your year, and I'm really urging the importance of set your vision board, set your goals, set your manifestations, and you will somehow get there if you continue believing in yourself. You don't need anyone. You just have to truly believe in yourself, no matter what it is, whether you're going through the highs and lows. Once again, it's not easy to get anywhere, but you have to have the mental capacity, and also, I guess, capacity in the sense of like, you have to be ready to face the backlash. You have to be ready to face the hard work and the obstacles that are to come to achieve the goals you want. But remember, your end goal is always going to be there. And that's exactly why I prioritize goal setting and vision boards. So I really did just want to end off my vision board talk there, because I really want to urge the importance again that the new year's coming. There's a lot to change. There's a lot for you to work on if you have to, so you could start getting what you want. And I, again, had brought up Trisha Paytas since the beginning because she's literally a prime example. She went through the lowest of lows and she built herself up. And this is all publicly documented. And she's literally a prime example as to how you could work on yourself and build yourself into like this new version of happiness in your life, and you'll kind of see the outcome from there. She finally reached a point of life where she was happy. She had kids, she's married, and now she's kind of seeing the results of it happening when it comes to getting more viewers, when it comes to getting I guess opportunity, because she literally came out on SNL. But that's exactly why I use her as an example, because she's such a public person that I feel it's not easy, but like there's so many videos to kind of deep dive of not exactly what she did, but her just for sure changing her mindset of just being happy, trying to choose peace is what really helped her. So I really do hope someone could take some advice of believing the power of manifestation and the power of yourself. Because again, this is your year. Make it what you want and set those goals, y'all. But I do want to transition this talk to let y'all know that this is unfortunately going to be my last podcast before I start rebranding. I will not be coming back till February until I'm officially ready. The only thing I'll say as of now, because things might change, is I'm trying to take a more professional approach. I might leave these podcasts. I'm going to leave them up till January. But in February, there will be a big rebrand, and I'm excited. It's a new year. Everyone starts venturing in new stuff. And I think February is going to be when I'm going to slowly start launching everything, because it's going to be something completely new that I'm going to do. And for myself, setting boundaries in the workplace, setting boundaries in school, of making sure, because I'm still going to school, I want to make sure I could achieve those goals, and making sure I can also come off as a professional podcast is the best way I could say it. But I did want to let y'all know that this podcast will be rebranded in February 2025. So I'm excited for that venture to start. And I, again, want to thank everyone who watched my podcasts for season 1. I'm going to call it season 1 because I think I am going to leave it. It's a big thing to kind of reminisce on, to look back on and look at your growth, So document your life. You never know. Maybe you could look back at a picture, maybe you could look back at a video, and you'll see your own personal growth. So I'm just excited for what's to come, and I really thank everyone who made it to the end of this video. And yeah, stay tuned, subscribe, follow my socials. I would honestly suggest to follow my main page, which is just my name, Matthew Huerta _. So you could go ahead and stay tuned. I'll post everything there. But I'm excited for this rebrand, and I'm excited for everyone to follow me along this journey. It's a lot of exciting things that are happening. I'm not going to spoil too much because I don't want to jinx it, because you have to work quietly. As they say, you have to be one step ahead. But I really do appreciate everyone who made it to the end of this video. And if you're listening, I appreciate you listening. But I'm going to end it off here. And I really do hope everyone had a good Christmas. I really do hope everyone has a good 2025, because there's a lot to look up to. The moons are in your favor. Do anything you can to prioritize yourself, your happiness, and your goals, and you will eventually get there. 2025 is our year, and I'm excited. But this is Matthew Huerta signing off for the last podcast as part of my season 1 Matt Dogs podcast. And I'll catch y'all next year with the rebranded content. But I'll see y'all next year. Bye. I really do appreciate everyone. Bye-bye.